Hey guys, Donald Miller. So it is June 5th, okay? This is a topic that's important, okay? Especially when I'm talking to some mechanics, but more some of the lifelong apprentices, all right? So on the non-union side, you can stay an apprentice forever. It's ridiculous. Like, you can go into your 40s and not make mechanics rate. All right. And, you know, you're trying to teach some of and they're in their 20s too. It's not just, it's across the spectrum. All right. And I get like a high school vibe from them where what's being taught, they're just kind of listening, but they're not really understanding how important some of the things being taught are, okay? This isn't high school. I need to stress that a lot, okay? Because in high school, like, half the stuff I don't even remember from, more than half, probably like 90%. Okay, because it's boring. It's not going to really, you're not going to use most of it. Like, you might use some of the math, but most of the stuff in high school, you're just being babysat, okay, until you're an adult. And then, you know, you're thrown to the wolves. And you get these guys coming into the trade, and yet they get that fog to them, like they're not going to need to know this stuff. This is your career. This is what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. So put the high school vibe away and focus, okay? Get through your apprenticeship until you make it to mechanics rate. The moment you make it to mechanics rate, you can kind of fall, like, by that time, you know what's going on, you know the game, okay? You know everything you need to do from the time you wake up in the morning to the time you go to sleep at night. You know what you need to do, you know what you need to be, you know your energy levels, you know everything that's required of you, and because of that, this trade is gonna compensate you with a lifestyle that's above average, okay? But if you don't mold to the trade leaves you behind. The trade doesn't care about your feelings. And I'm sorry to say that, but, you know, guys get yelled at and they get their feelings hurt. Well, guess what? You're probably getting yelled at because you're not acclimating to the trade. Okay, if you acclimate to the trade, you won't get yelled at. It's that simple. It's simple. All right. You have to get out of this high school vibe. If you're in the trade to become an electrician, okay, then you have to apply yourself. Okay, and that means this might be the first time ever in your life that you have to give it your all. You actually have to try, for real try. Not like I try, but then I'm going to go get boozed up, and I'm going to go do this, I'm going to do that, I'm not going to pay attention, and I'm just going to go skate an 8, which, you know, a lot of these guys, they're not getting the trade yet, so they get discouraged, so they go and hide in attics, or they hide in the basement, or they go play on their phone, or whatever. Like, okay, I don't know how that's going to help you in any way with your life, but if you want to be a nihilist, go ahead, have fun. All right. But the ones that are like, have got into this trade and you want it to support a life and you want to, you know, get off of mommy's, you know, tit, okay, this is what you have to do. You have to apply yourself. You have to get up early. You have to be willing to listen when you go to work, and you have to try. You're in a laborious field. That means you're gonna work, okay? So work, you know, and all right, I'll give an example here. So I was apprenticing I'm doing a remote apprenticing because the guy's in his first 2 years, and he doesn't understand why Klein tools matter, because he has commercial electric tools. Okay, which is, you know, maybe your first year, okay, you can have commercial electric, But now that you're in the trade, you should know the difference between a Klein screwdriver in your hands and a commercial electric screwdriver in your hands. And if you don't know the difference, you haven't held the screwdrivers long enough. That's what that means. Okay, because there's a huge difference in torque ratios using a Klein screwdriver than using a commercial electric screwdriver. A Klein screwdriver allows you to put more pressure on those screws. Okay, there's a huge difference. And not only is there a huge difference, they last longer. Okay, like the heads don't twist and turn. You know, commercial electric is great for entering the trade and get your foot in the door. But if you're looking to go up the ladder, and that's what this guy's doing, because he has a kid in the background, I'm like, okay, so in order to go up the ladder, you need to make yourself valuable to the senior mechanics that are in your company. In order for a senior mechanic to want to train you, they're not going to train misfits, and they're not going to train people that look like bums. Okay, 9 times out of 10, you know, a decent senior mechanic that's worth his salt, they'll train the guys that have Klein tools. They'll train the guys that dress appropriately. They'll train the guys that show up early. Okay, there's a certain level of, I guess, readiness. Like, I don't want to train jackasses. I don't. You know, if a guy has Klein tools and he's investing in the trade, he has nice work boots, he has nice pants, he's showing up ready to rock and roll, then yeah, I'll pull him aside and he'll work underneath of me, and I'll see what he's worth. By the end of the day, I'll know if he can hang or if he can't hang. And if he can't hang, then he needs to get out of the way. And that's what these younger guys think, that this is, that it's all about fun and games and it's an easy street. It's not an easy street. It's hard work. Okay? And if you're not ready for hard work, you're not going to make it through an 8-hour day. And then I'm not going to want you around me. It's that simple. Guys that are ready to work an 8-hour day next to me, then yeah, I'm going to train them. And not every day is hard, but I don't need a snowflake melting before lunch and then he's useless to me all afternoon. Okay, that's this trade. Okay, this trade isn't a clock in and let's go on easy street. No, we have completion rates we have to do. We have deadlines. Okay, I need someone that knows when it's time to run and when it's time to walk. Okay, so if these first 2-year guys, all you are is learning about the very basic fundamentals of this trade. After about 2 years in, the senior mechanics are picking and choosing who they're going to really invest in, because I don't want to invest in an alcoholic that's going to be gone in 6 months because he can't hold a job. Don't want to do it. Okay. So that's what typically when we get these apprentices that are like 1 or 2 years in and they want to, they say they want more. Okay. Well, if you want more, why don't you invest in a good pair of boots, like a pair of Red Wings? Okay. Yeah, I know they're $300. Guess what? If you want a higher rate of pay, you have to show that you're worth the investment to go get that higher rate of pay. All right. So invest in a pair of Red Wings. Go get like 5 or 6 pairs of Dickies. Okay. So you don't look like a bum with jeans that have holes in them and stains from the glue or whatever it is. Like, look presentable. All right. Invest in tools. You know, at each paycheck, go buy 1 Klein screwdriver. It'll take you 8 weeks. You'll have a brand new tool bag. All right. Invest in a nice pair of dikes. Invest in a nice pair of Lymans. All right. Invest in a nice pair of crooked needle nose. Okay. I use crooked needle nose all the time. Some people do, some people don't. If you're second year, definitely have a pair of strippers. You're not able to strip with your dikes yet, that's for sure. And yeah, you're cordless. So, you know, the big box store brands are great in the beginning, your first year, but you know, it's time to step it up. So you got to pick red or yellow. Teal too. Red, yellow, and teal. They're your three colors. All right, they're the ones that actually can withstand a beating and keep working, and they're a decent value. I'd be careful about buying stuff from big box stores. Okay, oftentimes it's not commercial grade. All right, the yellow, you know, yellow in a commercial box store is different serial numbers than a yellow distributor, and the torque is different as well, so you have to be careful there. But these are things that you should be doing to get yourself ready to figure out who you want to work with. And who you want to work with is usually the senior mechanics that have a firm foundation in this trade, okay? And you usually can tell who they are. And typically you want to work underneath of them, even if they're the biggest a-hole in the world, okay? Well, why do you consider him a big a-hole? Most likely because he wants nothing to do with you. Again, why does he want nothing to do with you? How often are you late? Okay? How often do you get to work, but you're not really at work? You're in la-la land up in your head. These are the reasons those guys don't want to work with you. Okay? If you show up ready to work and you're paying attention, you're not distracted, you're not daydreaming, you're going to find out those a-holes aren't really a-holes. You're just a jackass. All right? So, that being said, it's not high school. Pay attention. This is your career. So everything that you learn, all the little changes you make, benefit you in the long run. It'll benefit you buying a house. It'll benefit you raising a family. All right? This trade, when you do become a mechanic, there is a livable wage there. If you're not making a livable wage, look in the mirror, because it's because of you. It's not the trade. The trade is there, and there's livable wages throughout it. All right? No one's a victim in this trade, okay? This trade could care less about anything except what you can do with those wires, okay? That's the one beautiful thing about this trade is you don't need to know people. If you're good with those wires and you have good skills and you have good work habits, all right, you're going to go to the top. Nothing's going to hold you back. All right, there's no victims in this trade. So God bless. I know you might not like that. It might hurt your feelings, but guess what? Get over it. Get to work. God bless. Bye.